Welcome to the 45th meeting of the Honolulu Liquor Commission. Please turn off your cell phones. When addressing the commission, please remember to state and spell your name clearly and speak into the microphone. We have some minutes to approve. Can I have a motion, please?
Yes, Chair. Motion to approve the regular minutes of the 35th meeting dated April 3rd, 2025.
Second. Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the 35th meeting from 4/3/25. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Calling agenda item number 1, application number 25-02123-1 to 25-02123-122 from Highgate Hotels.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Christina Uhira on behalf of the applicant. My last name is spelled Ohira. We don't have any corrections to the investigative report. If you're so inclined to approve, we just ask that it be approved with a refund for any unused days.
Okay. Any questions? No.
Motion to approve application numbers 25-02123-1 to 25-02123-122 inclusive.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to approve application number 25-02123-1 to 25-02123-122 inclusive. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The application is approved. Calling out of order agenda item number 19, request number 25-02124, Highgate Hotels LP.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Christina Uhira on behalf of the applicant. I think you have our materials for the request, but I'm happy to answer any question.
Let me get down to that section. Commissioners, if you have questions, go ahead.
So, Ms. O'Hara, if I'm reading the special reduction of fee form. So it states over there, right, your initial correspondence with us was 5/6/2024. No deficiencies were checked off. And then you said your last communication correspondence was with us was 4/16/2023. Is the date correct or is the date incorrect? 25.
Yes, apologies.
Okay. I'm gonna say, I don't know how we would have a last contact with us a year prior to actually corresponding with the first time.
Catch.
Okay. And then, so on the second, or I guess the third line down, right, we have second temporary license issued, that's crossed out and it says special license, 365 days. So I'm assuming this is when you've had your special license, right, from 8/1/2024 through 7/31/2025.
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
and this will be related to the next item that you hear, but so we had a whole year of specials. We're close to pulling our first temp. But what's holding us up is that the current license holder of the hotel license has not yet surrendered. And I don't think Kenny, who is here today, but that's his client, but they have not had their hearing yet to pull his restaurant license, which is why he can't surrender the hotel license. So we may need this other set of specials if they're not able to do that before July 1. So I'm hoping we don't need these at all, but if we do need them, I was just hoping that we could have reduced fees because we've been paying the full fees, prior.
Okay.
Can do that.
I think we should.
Well, the goal of the program, right, was to kind of address the deficiencies of the temps, and this is a special case, and it wasn't really the intent to just make this the door of special exceptions. And so I think I'd entertain a motion to go into executive session.
The commission may go into an executive session for the following reasons: pursuant to Hawaii Revised Statute, section 92-4 and subsection 92-5A4, to consult with the board's attorney on questions and issues on a matter pertaining to the board's powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and liabilities, and relating to agenda item number 19. Sorry, I don't have beyond that. I will entertain a motion to go into an executive session for this purpose.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's removed and seconded. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, we're in the executive session. Okay, we're back from executive session where we were discussing the authority of the Liquor Commission to promulgate this pilot program, kind of the parameters around it, and some of the extension and expansion of where we were.
So, Ms. O'Hara. So the request to reduce in fees for special liquor licenses, that pilot program, we set it up specifically in this spirit to look at individuals that had burned through 2 temps, right? And because of really no fault on their own, based on the process of how long it takes to get a license, they were running into these areas where they're gonna be immaculately charged fees. Now, we've expanded a little bit here and there on this process. Some, I think, was due to people that didn't have a license or couldn't get a license. I believe we expanded another one based on the fact that that person had went a whole year and was still waiting. Our concern right now with this is the reason your license is taking longer is not specifically based on our licensing department being behind. It's somewhat also based on the fact of another party having your license that you need to figure out how to work with them to either relinquish or get that portion done. And so that's the view we're pretty muchly looking at. And then if you had any comments, we're open to hear what you would have to say, but that's kind of what we're looking at in this nature.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny's not here. What he expressed to me was that he's been unable to surrender the hotel license because of how long it's been taking him to process his restaurant license. But I hear what you're saying. So it's entirely possible we'll also burn through 2 temps though for this property, in which case we'll come back and make a further request. So, I mean, I'm really hoping we don't need these, which is related to item 22. So I understand.
So I guess there's 2 questions then. I think there's 2 questions on my end. So I think one would be, do you want us to make a ruling on your request, or would you rather withdraw your request in case you burn through your 2 temps? I'm just asking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can withdraw that.
So your request currently,
Yes, we'll withdraw the request for the reduction of fees and we will resubmit at the expiration of our second term.
Do we need a?
Do we need a motion for that?
Yes, if you
Okay.
take action.
okay, so
withdraw.
my motion will be to accept Ms. O'Hara's withdrawal of agenda item number 19.
Yeah, second the motion.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept a withdrawal of agenda item number 19, request number 25-02124. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The request is withdrawn. Calling agenda item number 22, request number 25-03206, Highgate Hotels.
Christina O'Hara, on behalf of the applicant, I think you have my letter that went along with this request, but I'm happy to answer additional questions.
But so basically, your letter here is just asking us not to activate your license, temporary license until Tiki's actually surrenders theirs, correct?
Yeah, I would appreciate that because otherwise it was activated on June 3rd and like their hearing isn't even until like, I think later this month.
Okay,
Yeah,
So-
okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't pay for.
we have no sense you have it running when you
Yes.
couldn't use it anyway, right?
So
So,
we need a motion to move it or to a date certain and then move it again, or just?
Typically it's to you've been granting to a date certain, but I don't believe that's a requirement for the activation of a temp.
Okay.
This is as long as everyone can tell when we would be activating that temp.
so that would be upon surrender of Tiki's one,
The
correct?
Tiki's license.
So I mean, I can make a motion to approve, okay, so my motion is going to be to approve agenda item number 2, request number 25-03206 to make the Twin Fin temporary license active upon the
Surrender.
surrender of the license from what is it called?
Tiki's.
Tiki's Bar and Grill.
Second the motion.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve agenda item number 22, request number 25-03206. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The request is approved.
Thank you.
All right. Calling agenda item number 2. Application number 25-02833-1 to 25-02833-31 JSC Cajun. Hello.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Min Young-woo on behalf of JSC Cajuning, doing business as Cajun Crab Waikiki, and no changes to the investigative report.
Commissioners, any questions?
None.
None.
Motion to approve application numbers 25-02833-1 to 25-02833-31 inclusive.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve application number 25-02833-1 to 25-02833-31. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The application is approved.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 3, application number 25-03000-1 to 25-03000-6. Makaha Golf and Resort LLC. Oh,
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the Commission, Keith Kiyuchi for the applicant. The applicant's public hearing is in 2 weeks. So this kind of times it like that. And the reason I chose June 30 is so that we didn't go through a situation where we issued a small license and then pick up a different license. So
I have a question.
Motion to approve application numbers 25-03000-1 to 25-03000-6 inclusive.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded to approve application number 25-03000-1 to 25-03000-6. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The application is approved. Calling out of order agenda item number 20, request number 25-03050. Walina Hospitality Group.
it's 25.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Item 25.
What up?
Yeah.
Yeah, calling it out of order, agenda item number 25, request number 25-03326, Makaha Golf and Resort LLC. Thank you.
Again, good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the Commission, Keith Kiyuchi for the applicant. So this one is a little different from the one I had a couple of weeks ago. This was a very difficult license because one, you're licensing a golf course, several hundred acres. Second, the plans on file with the commission and DPP were literally unreadable. So the investigator went out, he called me, he said, I can't pass it through because I literally can't see what's there. So then we sent my consultant down to DPP. DPP's plans were just as bad. So literally what we had to do is send somebody out, have her redraw the whole clubhouse. And that's what we did. So that's what caused the delay. That and investigator Sato and I had fun trying to piece together about 15 different parcels. So on the original application for Makaha, after Mr. Stone sold it to Pacific Links, there were some errors that were made on the parcels. So this is not a situation of workload. I think frankly, investigative staff did the best they could, but sometimes you have difficulties with certain applications. This was one.
So I guess my ultimate couple of questions, Mr. Kyuchi. So reading off of your form that you filled out,
Yeah.
right, for request for reduction of fees, the 2 temps you've burned through.
Right,
Your second one expires on the 13th, 6/13/2025, correct?
correct.
but technically, we're talking about the date in between 6/13/2025 and public hearing, which is supposedly set for June 26th.
So from 6/14 to 6/26,
Because we're
correct?
looking at those few
So
days. that
if
we're
you wanna
talking about.
just, you know,
I'm
yeah,
just making sure.
yeah,
Then the next question I have is on the application history itself, right? It says all deficiencies resolved, and there's a check of no. Is there all the deficiencies currently resolved?
yes,
Okay. And that was, I'm assuming the completion of that second part is beyond 9/24/2024.
oh, yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure. And your last correspondence with us is dated at 4/25/2025.
That's the correspondence with the investigator and going out. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. And I will say this, I do believe that at least based on our pilot program, right? This falls into it in regards to you burn through 2 temps and we're not making any exceptions or expanding it in other areas.
Right.
Okay. So that's, I have no other questions or
All right,
comments.
thank you for that summary.
Motion to approve request number 25-03326.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve request number 25-03326. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The request is approved.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Calling agenda item number 4, application number 25-03048-1, 25-03048-122, Molina Hospitality.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the commission, Ms. Uriah, Robert Uyoka on behalf of Molina Hospitality Group. Present to my right, Mr. Fraser Haug. He's a member and owner, first name Fraser, last name Haug. We have no changes to investigators report. This is for a special liquor license. We did file a transfer application, but special liquor license, no changes to investigators report.
Questions?
No.
Okay.
Motion to approve application numbers 25-03048-1 to 25-03048-122.
Second.
Inclusive.
It's been moved and seconded to approve application number 25-03048-1 to 25-03048-122. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The application is
Thank you so much.
calling out of order agenda item number 20, request number 25-03050, Molina Hospitality.
Robert Uyoka on behalf of Molina Hospitality Group. Present to my right, Mr. Fraser Haug. He is a member and owner. This is a request for reduction of fees. Just as background, we did file this transfer application in October 2024. And 7 months later, we had a preliminary site inspection on May 13th. That's a date on the application history. At that time, the investigator identified modifications made by the transferor, which is not unusual. So we are currently in the process of, hopefully the transfer can get it done soon, kind of in limbo because we can't do anything on our end. Our current temp expires on July 9th. So we did file this special at this time just because of the 6-week deadline. So although we did not burn through our second temp, we wanted to make sure we have a continuity of service as of July 10th, 2025. So that's why we're here prior to the burning of the second temp. We expect to burn through the second temp just because it's going to take at least probably 2 months for the transferor to get those alterations approved. So that's why we're here today. We understand what was said earlier today, but I guess our basis for the request at this time would be the 7 months since filing that we did the preliminary site inspection that was conducted by the investigator.
This one's, at least for me, is a little bit more difficult because I think the actual delay now is not really because of the actions of the commission, although some of it has a contribution to it. I think it does lead to something that we'll be discussing in the future in terms of more formalizing the pilot and the parameters around it.
I mean, just the fact that you approved the special today, that's really what we wanted. So I'm willing to withdraw this fee request, and if we really need a lot of time elapses, then if I could renew my request, I have to
Okay.
withdraw it today.
All right,
Yeah, do that.
let's do that.
Yeah, because for me personally, I would rather you put it in after you burn
Later.
through the
Exactly.
second.
Exactly.
Because I think it gives us an ability to kind of state, right, that look, we're within our parameters.
Completely fine, understandable. We just have to file it for the 6 week before we're here, but happy granted this, the special. So we'll withdraw the request, agenda item number 2.
Motion to approve the withdrawal of request number 25-03050.
Second.
So moved and seconded to approve withdrawal of request number 25-03050. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The request is withdrawn. Okay. Calling agenda item number 5, transfer application number 25-01120, WBCK.
Robert Uyoka on behalf of Waikiki Brewing Company, present to my right, Mr. Andy Flaherty, he's the manager, first name Andy, last name Flartey. We have no changes to the investigator's report. This is for a transfer of the Aloha Beer Waikiki liquor license located in the Bank of Hawaii building on Kalakaua Avenue. We have been operating under a temporary license, and we're glad that this matter is set for preliminary hearing.
Any questions?
None.
Motion to approve transfer application number 25-01120.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve transfer application number 25-01120 on preliminary hearing. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The application moves forward. Agenda item is approved.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Calling agenda item number 6, application number 25-00769, Chow Restaurant LLC.
Good afternoon, Chair Hong and members of the commission. Neil Gota, appearing on behalf of Chow Restaurant LLC. Appearing with me is Bing No, spelled BINH, last name NGO, a representative of the applicant. We have no changes to the investigative report. This is a new restaurant application.
Any questions?
None.
Motion to approve application number 25-00769.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve application number 25-00769 from preliminary hearing. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The agenda item is approved.
Thank you very much.
Calling agenda item number 7, administrator liquor license renewal for the year.
So I'll make a motion.
Yeah.
Hold it.
We just need a motion from the commission.
Yeah, so I'll make a motion and then so motion to move that all applicants for renewal of liquor licenses for the period July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026, which were submitted to the Liquor Commission with the required fee and corresponding documents by July 1st, 2025 during normal business hours, 7:45 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. or postmarked no later than 12 midnight on Monday, June 30th, 2025, and which meet the requirements of section 281-45 Hawaii Revised Statutes be approved, except those licensees who/which are brought before the commission in accordance with section 281-61 for good cause will not have their license renewed.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve agenda item number 7. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, the item is approved. Right. Calling agenda item number 8, application number 25-03109, Bo Viet Tinh Hong.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Min Young-woo on behalf of 4BN Hong LLC. On my right is Ho Wang Lee, who is the member, and there is no changes to the investigative report.
Question?
No.
Motion to approve application number 25-03109.
Second.
So moved and seconded to approve application number 25-03109. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The application is approved.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Calling agenda item number 9, application number 25-03241, Memoirs LLC. Hello.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Taylor Passion. I'm the Director of Catering Operations, and to my right, I have Jordan Rabe. He is the owner of Memoirs LLC and 1311 Events. We do not have any changes to the investment report.
Okay, commissioners, any questions?
So since it's a private event, but and you are gonna have minors involved, do you plan to ban the individuals that are over age? Or how do you plan to deal with that?
Yes, we'll be having a security checking at the beer garden entrance and banding as well, everyone over 21 years of age.
And the delineation is some just square that you're gonna have a,
It'll be a barricade that'll be
Yeah.
installed, yeah.
and then one final note is the event is on the 27th of this month, so that's cutting it very close in case, because we're not meeting next week and
Mhm.
then a lot of trouble if not if all of us were here. So, okay.
In other words, get in a little earlier.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right.
I have no other questions.
One question. Do you have security set up?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
What type of security?
We are hiring, I believe, let me double check. We have hybrid protection.
And any special duty HPD?
No special duty HPD.
How many attendees do you expect?
They expect about 900.
900.
That's correct. It's all their members.
How many security officers do you expect to have on site?
We have 6.
6.
Yeah, and it's only for that particular, that beer garden is where there's alcohol served. There's not gonna be any exiting with alcohol from that area.
Okay. Good.
Motion to approve application number 25-03241.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve application number 25-03241. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The application is approved.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 10, application number 22-24231, Newfield, Honolulu. Oh, hello. Hello. All right.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Leo Shimizu on behalf of Newfield Honolulu Inc., DBA Marugoto Hawaii. LEO-SHI.
Hollinger?
Yeah, so Mr. Shimizu, I'm just wanted on the record, so currently all the correct names and people are on our records currently here at the administration, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. All right, that's my only question. Just want to make sure we have everybody correctly listed.
Motion to approve application number 22-24231.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve application number 22-24231. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The application is approved. Thank you. Calling agenda item number 11, application number 25-01583, SKB. Yoba Mart. That's a good name. All right,
KB.
we'll skip that more now. Calling agenda item number 12. Request number 22-24327, Red Lobster Hospitality LLC.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, member of the commission, Robert Wheelk on behalf of Red Lobster. This is a request to, to notify members. I just wanted to confirm currently that the current member on file with the Liquor Commission is a current member. The current member and managers is is RL Investor Holdings LLC. Just as background, these are various change of officers and managers and members we submitted from January 2022 to October 2024. During that time, Red Lobster filed for bankruptcy in May 2024 and emerged from bankruptcy in September 2024. So the current manager and member, RL Investor Holdings LLC, is the current member and manager. And we submitted it within 30 days back in October 2024.
Right, thank you for answering my normal question.
I was taking notes.
Yeah.
Getting ahead of it. Questions?
Nope, I have no other comments or questions.
Nope. Motion to approve request number 22-24327.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve request number 22-24327. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The request is approved.
Thank you so much.
Calling agenda item number 13, request number 23-03974, AP Company Kalakaua.
Good afternoon again, Commissioners. Leo Shimizu on behalf of AP Company Kalakaua LLC, DBA Maruzushi. This is regarding a notification providing correction to the Commission record. I reviewed the investigative report and do not have anything to add. If you have any questions.
Okay, so my normal question, so the current information we have listed, right? For the name of the member is correct within the commission itself and in administration.
Yes, Commissioner.
Okay.
I believe, yes, there was, I don't know if this was a clerical error at the beginning, but I believe the owner of the member was listed, and which is why it's 0% and listed as a shareholder.
Mhm.
And so
That's not.
I believe, yeah, we want to just make sure it's cleaned up and corrected.
Okay, that's all. I have no other questions.
Motion to approve request number 23-03974.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve request number 23-03974. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The request is approved.
Thank you very much.
Calling agenda item number 14, request number 25-01892, Honolulu Beer Works LLC.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the commission, Ms. Aina Harai, Naomi Ko on behalf of Honolulu Beer Works. Present to my right is Office Manager, Ms. Kanoe, Kanoe, last name Leonio, Leanio. We have no changes to the investigative report. This is for an increase in space for the pub side, which then decreases the manufacturer side. They have the whole building license.
Mhm. Okay. I have no questions.
Yeah.
Good.
Motion to approve request number 25-01892.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve request number 25-01892. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The request is approved.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 15, request number 25-02984, Haleiwa Distilling Company LLC. Skipping to agenda item number 16, request number 25-02757, Beach Dreams LLC, DBA Hank's Hot Dogs.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. So, I am Henrietta Nia, Henry Adaniya, owner. This license is in the midst of being transferred. So they're still active. I don't know if I need to keep this in safekeeping it at this point, but just want to have, make sure that they have the ability to continue on with the transfer.
So yeah, you would normally need to leave it in safekeeping and update it or keep it active in safekeeping so that when it does come, they can pull it out of safekeeping and transfer it there. If you let it die in safekeeping, then they have to start a whole new application for themselves.
So I just keep it as it is.
Okay, but you do have someone working to get a transfer.
Yes,
happening.
they're
Okay.
actively working with that.
All right, I have no other questions. Normally, we ask what the plan is of a license and safekeeping when we update it.
So I can just have them, the new owners.
Yeah, they'll need to work with, whoever they're going to use or themselves or administration to figure out the process of filing to transfer those.
Yeah, I think they got that covered, so,
Okay.
so good.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Motion to approve request number 25-02757.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve request number 25-02757. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I ask vote aye. The request is approved. Thank you. Calling agenda item number 17. No request number. Yeah. CGY Martin.
Biggest storm.
Yeah. All right.
Nice.
Hey,
Name Wang Huang. Yeah,
can you say your name and spell it?
Wang Huang.
You got that?
Did you get that?
Could you spell your name for me, please?
In the license, look at it, the name my son, the Tân Phúc.
Oh, I'm sorry, could you spell name?
Yeah.
Spell your
Your
name.
Name,
Spell your name.
Wang Huang.
Spell.
Yeah,
N-
yeah.
you get it?
Ngoan.
NGUIN?
Xoang.
Get that?
I can slide it down.
Okay, and you also have to identify yourself, your name for the record.
Sorry.
Thank you. And can you state your name too?
Well, my name is Lawrence Hata. I'm her friend.
Okay. So, Ms. Ray, you'll get the spelling to.
Yes.
Okay.
Here you go, officer. Thank you. Juan, yeah, last name. How do you say, spell the last name?
Huang.
Juan.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
so your request is to renew your liquor license in
Yes.
safekeeping, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so how long has your license been in safekeeping?
I can looking around.
None of it. So how long?
Since this club biggest, I used to be on Kiamoku.
Okay.
Now they made a high rise.
Right. So has it been 2 years, 3 years?
Out there.
Do we know how long it's been in safekeeping?
Our record
2020.
shows that
22.
safekeeping since 2022.
Okay,
Yeah,
so since
22.
2022,
Yeah.
okay. You can say. Are you looking for a new location or are you
Yeah.
looking for somewhere or someone to transfer?
Yeah.
Okay. So just so you understand, as time goes on, we are going to be asking more critical questions in regards to what you plan to do with the license.
Yeah.
Because it's not good to keep it in safekeeping forever.
Yeah.
Okay? So be prepared if it's still in safekeeping next year, we'll need to have some information on what you plan to do.
Yeah.
Okay? So my motion is going to be to approve a request for agenda item number 17 from CJY Martin LLC.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve request of agenda item number 17. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. Agenda item number 17 is approved.
So you can renew it in safekeeping.
Thank you.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Calling agenda item number 18, Rainbow Valley Supermarket, Inc. Okay. Calling agenda item number 21, request number 25-03204, Naomi Cole. Hello.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the Commission, Senator Harai, Naomi Cole on behalf of the applicant. Yes, we'd like to request the waiver of the 5-day rule. We will not be able to file the application within the 5 days of the expiration of the prior license. We're also requesting to be able to submit an application with a downgrade, restaurant standard license instead of a restaurant with entertainment. We won't be needing the entertainment.
We need a motion to amend the agenda.
Yes, typically, well, I would say yes, since you have 5 here, if you could amend that, this was an omission on our fault. That we didn't include that second request on the agenda, so if you could amend the agenda to include that second request with respect to the filing of the temp as a category 1 standard.
Motion to amend request number 25-03204 to include a second request to approve category 1 standard license.
Second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded to approve an amendment to agenda item number 21 to include the application of a category 1 standard instead of category 2. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, the agenda item is amended. Okay, now on to the substance.
I have no questions.
Motion to approve request number 25-03204 as amended.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve request number 25-03204 as amended. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. Again, pass the visit. Calling agenda item number 23, request number 25-03210, Rosh Santo on behalf of the National Guard Conference. Hello.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the Commission, Greg Nishioka, authorized agent, appearing on behalf of the requesting party.
And a disclosure, I was in the National Guard and I think I was a member of this organization.
I also disclosed that I was a retiree of the National Guard, but it will not affect my ability to make an objective decision.
Right, okay, let's go.
Just the request speaks for itself. Basically, we're just asking that the commission consider our request to waive the rule, limiting us to 12 days on a calendar quarter. And this does run in conjunction with request number agenda item number 24. Basically, this matter has been before the commission back on May 8th. We asked for a waiver for the nonprofit, which the commission took no action on. And then we came back on May 29th with the nonprofit special license applications, which the commission made a ruling on, saying that the first 12 would go forward, but the following we had to come in with for-profit special license application. So again, we're making this request with regard to the for-profit special license applications we wish to submit.
Now, is your intent to file for some sort of more permanent license?
That is in the works, and it is, again, prior counsel for the applicant was working on that. I think they ran into some problems, that had to be resolved procedurally within the organization itself. And when we came on board, we've kind of we started the discussion, and that is in the process of being worked out. And obviously, this taking the commission's prior statements to us.
Okay, so the commission may go into an executive session for the following reasons pursuant to Hawaii Revised Statute, section 92-4 and subsection 92-5A4 to consult with the board's attorney on questions and issues on a matter pertaining to the board's powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and liabilities, and related to agenda item number 12, request number 25-03210. I'll entertain a motion to go into an executive session for this purpose.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to go into executive session. Any news or reservations? Seeing none, we are in executive. session. Okay, we're back from executive session where we're discussing the ability of the commission to waive rule 3-82.31-6A on the special licenses for 12-day calendar quarter. I think the questions that we have, right, is, you know, the nature of the requests that we've received on this property as first a nonprofit, then now it's kind of a for-profit. But a for-profit that wants to use special licenses attached on to an entity in a building, it is kind of just giving us pause as to, you know, what is the intent? Is this to make this an event space? Is this to make this a nightclub? Is this, what are you gonna come back here? What for what purpose? Did I summarize our questions or
If I were to answer that question, from what has transpired to this time, obviously, the intent was for it to be a nonprofit situation, right? As indicated at the prior hearings on this, what they were using the money for. And basically, for all intents and purposes, it's a nonprofit. The reason, I don't think it was brought up, but the reason they are filing tax-wise as profit because they're accounted as well as attorney, that erred on the side of caution because they didn't want to get hit with penalties if it was found to be, for-profit kind of income and to be whacked out of taxes. So I would say that, their intent basically is to eventually to get a license. Now, again, I don't know what kind of category will it be. We haven't proceeded that far in the process. And certainly I think that has to be, I share the commission's concern with this. We will share it with the applicant. But their long-term thing is just to be an event center, obviously, and to hold events and use those funds again for purposes of the organization, which is a nonprofit organization. Yeah, that's all I can answer that. You're not looking at a club, you're not looking at a restaurant situation. Again, it's basically as an event center. And which it was prior to the federal government, getting divesting title of the property.
So Mr. Shinsato, my concern is this. That normally when we grant types of exceptions of these 12 days or any of these things, it's for someone that is knowing what license they're going to be putting in for, and they're in the process of doing that. Personally, for me, I'm looking at it as I'm just giving you a waiver to do whatever you want for these 3 specific days, and you have, because technically you could get this and then never come back for a personal license until you come back after this year is over and redo this thing again.
Understood.
Okay, so just understand that when, if this gets voted, how I vote, because that's my concern. I don't want to be opening up the door for just come in here and say, we're gonna do this, and we never do any type of license after that. Because we normally do it, like I said, for individuals, whether they're trying to do a hotel license, or they're trying to do a restaurant or something of that nature, so that they can continue on serving for that business.
And
Understood. I understand totally what you're saying. I do not disagree with what you're saying. Yeah, just for the record.
So I shared Vice Chair's sentiments too, because, to just waive the rule and open it up for anything puts the commission's integrity at stake as far as I'm concerned. So I'm kind of leery about just doing a blanket waiver on any type of rule, because then any other licensee or agent or representative could misconstrue what the intent of the commission is or was in that decision making.
yeah. So
And again, for the record, because it was initially thought to be a nonprofit situation, they have scheduled events already. So they've got to make a decision as to which events they're going to tell. You can't, alcohol will not be available.
So I would be inclined to have your client submit the dates and events that they would want. And at the time that we exceed the 12-day amount, we could choose to waive the 12-day rule rather than, because we will see the request in front of the commission at the time that they're making the request.
Versus the blanket.
To echo what you're saying, Chair, I don't disagree with what you're saying, because after the last thing I did mention, we did have a discussion as far as more, I think you need to focus on which events you want to sell, have the ability to sell alcohol, and which events really you don't need to have that ability there. I mean, for example, I think there's neighborhood board meetings are held there. I really don't think, you'd want to have alcohol. I mean, those, meetings can get heated as it is.
True.
Having alcohol available is not something that's conducive to a, neighborhood board meeting, quite frankly. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, to further clarify, I recall from a previous hearing, we received a long list of numerous events. And if we were to just waive the rule, I mean, it's like, must have been a page and a half or 2 pages of single space 12 font events. So I did have that concern about that many events over the short period or a longer period of time.
So the other thing that I would say, right, is I do believe, I think on some of our prior hearings, right, that we've had with this event, right, there is certain things that we're allowing you to do already, right, for the nonprofit side, right? But the remainders need to be this, right? And I mean, on my end, I would say, I might be open to something that would cover some of those spaces, but within your first event in the next 6 months after that, you need to come back with a plan of what you're going to do, not just say you're going to investigate and determine if it's going to be a regular license or not. There has to be a plan in place to do something and determine what it would be, only because I might not be inclined to go beyond that point. Give these people an opportunity to either do what Chair Hong has talked about, figuring out which events they really want to serve alcohol at. And after you pass the 12 days, come to us with those events, or take the first 12 days you have in your thing of nonprofit, right? Maybe we talk about, as a group here, maybe we talk about a few other days we can give you to equal out to 6 months, but within that time period, after that, you need to have a plan. Because otherwise we're just giving openness to anything, in my opinion. We're just like, okay, go ahead.
Again, I restate, I'm not arguing with you.
Yeah, no.
I'm not,
I'm just saying,
agreeing with you.
we want to work with all the licensees and all the businesses, because I think we're trying to do that, but we also try to figure out a way to stay consistent with
Agreed.
those things.
I agree.
So,
problem.
so I would get a sense of the commission that perhaps we will not be entertaining this. You can withdraw it, or we can entertain a motion to.
We would withdraw it at this point in time.
Then you
That
come
would be the
back
best course of
with
action.
those in excess of 12 that
Right.
you would like.
Taking the commission's suggestions, I have no objection to withdrawing it at this point in time.
Need a motion on that one?
Yeah, I think we do.
Motion to approve the withdrawal of request number 25-03210.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the withdrawal of request number 25-03210. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The request is withdrawn. Okay,
24 is effectively withdrawn.
yeah, but I guess
We'll do that.
also do that. Calling
Wait,
agenda.
wait,
item-
wait, wait. So, yeah, go ahead.
Calling agenda item
Yeah,
number
check it
24,
first, 'cause I don't-
request number 25-03212, Russian Sato on behalf of the National Guard Conference Club.
Again, Greg Nishio appearing on behalf of the applicant. In this situation, we are submitting the, special, we want to have a waiver of the certain rules and an allowance from the commission to submit the application with the understanding that the license will not issue until we comply with these items that we've listed. Just to step back again and look at, again, what happened over a space of time. This was initially submitted as a nonprofit application, which does not require these items or some of these items. But during the course of the commission, the admin reviewing the application, several questions were raised. I don't mind if questions are raised at one time. You give us a whole bunch, you can answer it. But if you come with one question one day, 1 week later, you come back with another question, then 48 hours prior to the hearing, you get a request that basically questions or opposes what the request is being made to the commission. I mean, that puts the applicant behind an 8 ball, quite frankly. You know, that's why we're asking this, we're bringing this request now to allow us to file the specials. But with understanding, because we cannot file it, the application, if these documents are lacking. Therefore, we're asking that permission to do it with understanding that the license cannot issue until they comply with these items. I think that's a fair request at this point in time, based upon the circumstances that have transpired with this applicant.
So I would say this. So. Mr. Nishik, I would say this, I think that. We would want you to submit. I can totally understand your view of 48 hours prior to a hearing, you getting something, right? You might not be able to comply with that. But I think the things that you received before that needs to be turned in ASAP. Those, whatever they had, I think the other items, right? But I'm only open to saying that those items that were found in the last 48 hours before need to be given to us before the issuance of the license. And I don't know what they were. I'm not gonna say I know off the top of my head.
We answered the questions that were proposed.
Okay.
It's out of, didn't address those, those questions that arose.
Okay.
Then we did it, we get the request, well, we get the petition 48 hours ahead of the hearing.
Okay.
And, at that point, we're kind of looking at it going, okay, we have to, obviously address these issues, which we tried to.
Okay.
And the commission made a ruling on it, which again, we respect and appreciate.
But I thought for the nonprofit, the personal history affidavits and whatnot that you're asking for a waiver on, those are not required, and those are the first 12 that we granted, right?
Right.
So now
We're looking down the road to, sure.
Yeah, so
We just take it up at that time.
yeah, and so when you come to get these special license, it's not like it's only 48 hours in advance. You at least have the 12 days that we've given you for the nonprofits to get all of your stuff in order for your first set of for-profits.
Understood, but right now, we're within that 6-week period. I mean, we've got the licenses for June, right? The rules require us to submit the applications for special license 6 weeks in advance of the event. If we've got events in July, we're well within that 6-week period at this point. And so to give us the opportunity to bring the application forward so that the licensing section can start at least, processing the requests. And again, when it comes forward, we would submit the request. We would definitely have everything in order prior to the issuance of the license.
If I could just interject
Yeah.
here, if you would ask the licensing supervisor, because as you know, applications for special licenses involve an investigative process that generates a report, and not having these things until commission is, sounds like you've approved and before pickup, I would like to give him the opportunity to comment on that.
Supervising Investigator Daniel Sato. Normally on a special nonprofit, there wouldn't be any additional documents, but this is a special for-profit, which we do have certain requirements such as like 6 weeks in advance. This is to vet and properly ensure that we receive the documents and they're subject to all the other requirements like criminal history background checks and ensuring that, they're not connected with any other license that was revoked. So that's why we have a longer lead time with special for-profits. And if we receive the documents 2 days prior or just prior to the approval, that kind of diminishes that investigative capability into saying that for-profit has met the requirements.
So let me ask this. So would you be, as a licensing supervisor, okay with fingerprint and criminal history checks being submitted prior to the affidavit?
Ideally, we would like it as in advance as possible because there's many things that we would have to check as far as the background checks. It has to go through a different system.
No, I understand that, but there's this letter dated June 3rd, which I'm gonna assume that everybody has read. And, you know, there's 4 points, one requesting a waiver of rule requiring personal history and affidavit be filed at the time the application is filed. And they want to file it before the license is issued. Number 2, request the application be accepted without criminal history at the time the application is, so it has to be filed before the license is issued. And 3, request more time to submit fingerprints before the license is issued. So I mean, it kind of falls on licensing. If that's acceptable to be able to do it in a timely fashion to approve the license, that puts you guys under the gun, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It really depends on the first event date also, and depending on how long the term of the duration of that special.
To clarify, we would obviously try to get these into the commission as soon as possible. Okay, so that licensing can have ample time to do their checks and reviews. And, you know, but we cannot submit the application, or they can't start the process unless the application is complete, correct me if I'm wrong. But, so we're asking that we be allowed to submit it, taking into account that it's within the 6-week period. So that we can, you know, basically try to get this moved forward and, you know.
Mr. Sato,
That's fine.
question I would ask, so. On an average, I know we want to get them like prior to the 6 weeks and things like that, right? But I will also say, we see numerous items that come in less than the 6-week mark and we get them through the process. What is a comfortable amount of time that you could maybe state your group would be able to vet somebody's information? Because I also want to work on the sense of trying to get applications started so we can work with the group to figure out something. But I also understand it takes time to process it or process your side. So what is like an average amount of time that you might need that is obviously less than the 6-week mark?
So, I mean, there's no perfect set number with that, especially when it's like we're requesting checks. Sometimes the checks bounce back as far as like the federal FBI side.
Okay.
And, you know, there's some instances with specials where we say, if it kicks back and it says it's denied, then we won't issue a license. But to have the documents not readily available where we can do prelim checks and running it through a system, because there's fingerprints and there's actual other checks that we can do.
Okay.
Having an unvariable thing where it could come like a day before the public hearing is. You
And
know,
then, so I guess what I'm trying to say is, we normally ask for a 6-week window. If you tell me, just as a discussionary fact, I need 4 weeks before the event to have all of his stuff turned in by, for me to be able to do, or 3 weeks, then I may be inclined to make that type of requirement based on what he's requesting. Cause I don't think it's fair for you either to get something 2 days before or 3 days before to be able to process it and then get through the public hearing or a hearing for that special license.
so ideally, we also look at if we have hearings and if there's gaps, those that we take into account, but 3 weeks is, I guess, an okay number that we can work with.
What's the fastest you can get, Mr. Nishioka, what's the fastest you can get all of your paperwork?
You know, we try to get it within, you know, if at all possible, to give them ample time. At this point, we're in the 2nd week of June. You know, we're looking at 1st week of January. I mean, obviously, we'd have to try to get something to the licensing side within a week. You know what I'm saying? I think
That's
that's fair.
possible.
That's fair to them. You know what I'm saying?
But that's
But-
possible on your side.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at what was submitted with regard to the personal issue side, I think there's one individual that's lacking. Also, the request does ask you to waive the 2-year rule on the date of the affidavit, I believe. But I mean, we're just waiting for one more individual, and honestly, like I said, this is not a nonprofit organization. It's hard to get people to do something, but we'll use our best efforts to try and obviously get this done. Like we always do.
And so I guess I would say this, so Mr. Nishoka, I would not be, I would. At the most, okay, I would say that the only part that waiving of things, I would waive things, but only to the point of. You need to get it to our licensing investigators no later than 4 weeks prior to the event. Because that, even like saying 3, if you find something wrong, you might need to fix something, and I'm just giving you an idea of what I would be looking at if we were to even entertain some type of waiver. That it would need, because right now you're supposed to get it to them by 6 weeks, right? So. I'm trying to help give some time for you to find your stuff, get everything for other things. But I'm not sure how, again, all the other commissioners feel about it, but I mean,
Well, I understand what you're saying, Commissioner, okay, and I don't disagree with what you're saying. But if you look at the facts of this, what happened here, I mean, the leak, when you deny the initial application back in on May 29th, we're already within that 4-week period, you know what I'm saying?
okay,
And but for the fact that the delays incurred, we perhaps could have had an adjudication on this request sooner.
okay.
And again, we're throwing up our hands going, hey, look, we understand this rules. We're asking special consideration to allow us to move forward to do this. And that's all, it's basically not something that we take lightly in bringing this request. It's not something we take lightly. But we feel we have no choice but to at least ask the commission, put it out there and see where we stand, at least to give the applicant, a chance to get the proper licensing for their events.
But in order for this to work, at least for your first event on the 3rd, you would have to be done on the 26th. That's the only day event.
Yeah, we're not meeting this week.
Yeah, but. I think.
Yeah.
So the commission may go into an executive session for the following reasons: pursuant to the Hawaii Revised Statute, section 92-4 and subsection 92-5A4, to consult with the board's attorney on questions and issues on a matter pertaining to the board's powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and liabilities, and relating to agenda item number 24, request number 25-03212. I will entertain a motion to go to an executive session for this purpose.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to go into executive session. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I'll say aye. We're in executive session. Yes, we've come back from executive session where we were discussing the options for waiving the rules as specified in agenda item number 24.
Okay. So, Mr. Nishioka. So. I am inclined. And to let you know, my opinion and my inclination is to not approve the request. And the reason for that is. You came nonprofit status first. We kind of went through that. You had the understanding of what that was. You came for the profit status portion now. And you've known at least 4 weeks now about the nonprofit situation going toward profit. Whatever you have in between the time period that you're not able to make the 6 weeks, they're gonna have to decide not to serve alcohol, work toward getting all that information to Daniel. You said maybe a week, get that stuff in so that anything that makes it will get there to work toward getting it approved and the meetings that are there to get it on to the agendas. But other than that, I mean, rules are there for a reason, and we also don't want to open the floodgates of just waiving any kind of rules as these things are already known. So I can give you the opportunity whether you want us to make a ruling on it, or you can also make a choice to withdraw that request, but I'll let you let us know or let me know how you want me to proceed.
We're in executive session, I did speak to investigation side. So what we would do at this point is withdraw it, the request.
Okay. So my motion is going to, sorry, hold on. My motion is going to be to approve the withdrawal of request, agenda item number 24, request number 25-03212. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to withdraw request number 25-03212. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The request is approved.
Thank you. And for the record again, like I said, during the break, Mr. Shazad and I did speak, and we'll work together to try and get this done in a most expeditious manner. For behalf of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's see.
6.
5. 5 is done.
Yep.
Yeah, against 26. Do we want to recall any of the?
Oh, yes, please.
I think we should,
Yeah, good.
before we get into the adjudication, 11 and 15.
12, 15, 18?
No, 11.
11.
SKB
15.
and
11 and 15,
Double mark.
Yomart.
and 18.
15, yeah.
Rainbow. Yeah.
negative.
And 18.
18.
Yeah, he called Rainbow
Called.
Valley Mark too.
Yeah, no more.
Okay, so we will just reschedule.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's into the
26.
Make a motion.
All right. Oh, decision orders?
Yeah.
Yeah, can I have a motion, please?
Yes, Chair. A motion to approve the adoption of decisions and orders for agenda item number 26.
second.
It's been moved and seconded for the adoption of decision and orders in agenda item number 26. Any nays or reservation? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The motion carries. Calling agenda item number 27, Goodies Market LCB 24-0072.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, and Commissioners. Deputy Corporation Counsel Nicholas Lee on behalf of the City and County of Honolulu.
Good afternoon. This is Samsu Im, Vice President of this market.
Right, please have a seat.
Okay. So first things are first. Mr. Lee, are you folks prepared for the contested, to provide a contested hearing?
Yes, Mr. Vice Chair. We have our witness outside.
Okay. Sorry, your last name again?
Yeah, no.
Im, I-M. Im.
Im.
Im?
I am.
Im, okay.
Yes.
Mr. Im, are you prepared for the contested case?
I'm sorry, I'm not good at English. Um, anyway, I'm going to say, about 3 months ago, he couldn't pay the rent.
Okay, hold on, so first things are first, do you understand and comprehend what the contested case is going to do? Okay. What is your, what language do you?
Korean.
Korean, okay. Can't write Jeff. Last name. Art,
Tim,
no,
oh,
Lee.
Cam,
Oh,
Jeff
our
Cam.
corporation counsel. Question would we be better off to find out about getting a translator for the contested case, since it seems as our affected licensee is not fully able to understand and be correctly represented?
Technically, he's gotta ask.
Oh, okay. So. Okay. I guess the question is, do you fully understand what's happening today?
Uh, I heard from the Barry, he said he didn't renew the manager of the liquor license. That's why they came
Okay,
in
so-
for hearing.
Okay, so in February, when we had our first meeting,
Yes,
did you come to that meeting?
yes, I came with the Barry and then he say, tell me just sit down there, and then came here and then say, he say he's gonna bring the attorney next time. That's why I thought was he's gonna bring the attorney, but he didn't show up today, so I'm going to responsibility anyway.
I understand that you're gonna take responsibility, but if you don't fully understand what's taking place, you may not be able to represent yourself fairly. So I guess my question is, I mean, so technically, right, if you don't understand what's happening, you have to say that. I can't judge and guarantee you're gonna be able to.
What's happening? Happening is he didn't renew the.
No, I understand you're explaining, but the problem realistically is that your,
The hearing will be
English.
conducted in English.
yeah, the
Do
hearing,
you
the
have enough
hearing is gonna,
comprehension?
yeah,
In
we're gonna do this here in
Understand English.
English. If you have a hard time understanding English, we need to have someone that can come and explain that to you.
So are you fighting you fighting the violation? You fighting it?
Uh, I will not fighting I will abide by judge decision, and then I just asking the kind of consideration.
Clear whether this is even, if this is a contested.
Yeah, I
sounds
don't
like
think,
it.
I say, I don't think he was even here. I think he was in the audience when the person came
attorney.
on February and stated he wanted to have a
Yes.
a contested hearing and he was going to bring his attorney, but seems as if no one else came today. Okay, so I have this question for you. I know it's a contested case, but Mr. Lee, can you read the charges?
The charge, Mr. Vice Chair, is on or about August 1st, 2024, in the city and county of Honolulu, state of Hawaii. The licensee failed to have a duly registered manager or assistant manager assigned to the licensed premises in violation of Rule 3-82-38.9, subsection A, subsection 2 of the rules of the Liquor Commission of the city and county of Honolulu.
Okay. Mr. M, my question to you is you can either accept the charge, deny the charge or plead no contest to the charge?
I will accept the charge.
Okay, so now my question is, because it wasn't a, okay, so I'm gonna make a motion to accept the charge, and then I'm gonna follow up with you in regards to how we can do that if it's an adjudicated case, okay? So I need a motion to accept the plea of accepting the charge.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the charges. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The plea of accepting the charge is accepted.
Okay, Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee, question, because it was put as an adjudicated case and it was put at what it was previously, are we okay proceeding forward with the licensee saying he's accepted the charge?
I mean, I'm okay if he wanted to admit it. That's what he indicated to me during the
Okay.
recess, like we talked about it. He indicated to me he was the vice president of the parent company that owns Goodie Market. Said he wanted to take responsibility and he was willing to accept whatever penalty the commission was rendered. I
Okay.
told him what my recommendation was gonna be and he indicated he wanted to take responsibility
Okay,
today.
so Mr. Lee, what is your recommendation for agenda item number 27?
My recommendation would be a fine in the amount of $500, noting that the offense took place on August 1st, 2024. He was issued a warning by the same investigator on March 30th, 2024. The same offense, which they didn't cure. They were previously cited in 2008 for the same offense, and they got a fine of $350.
Okay. So Mr. Im, a question I have for you. You folks still are the licensee and still have Goodies Market, or did you sell that, or did you transfer it?
No, the Buddhist market is closing down about 3 or 4 months ago because he couldn't pay the rent. So it's already shut down and I closed the business license, everything.
Okay, so have you've turned in the liquor license to the administration here?
I'm not sure about that because the
Okay.
Barry handled that, so.
Okay, so, and Barry is your partner?
Actually, this is like Ji Hoon Kim, the president of the Buddhist market. He left Hawaii about 2 years ago,
Okay,
and then the Barry run all the business, and I don't know about anything. So, yeah.
okay. Okay. So,
So my I want to is fine or whatever punishment. To me, it's okay, but is this punish or any fine not going to the president? Because maybe anything the record on his name, and then maybe later on he trying to come United States, and then maybe I don't know, it's maybe denied because of the something ticket or something like that. So
okay,
anything fine or punishment to me is I accept it.
Okay.
So,
I guess what I'm trying to find out is, so currently right now, you're not running a business of selling alcohol.
no, not at all.
Okay. So I
I
think,
will,
okay,
actually, one more thing. I will not do the selling liquor in my life.
okay.
I will not do it. Isn't
So, no worries, no worries.
Yeah.
I guess the question would be for administration, is there a way to find out? Not, I mean, it doesn't have to be in today, but if we have the license or we do, okay, so we do not have the license. Okay. Okay,
It will, however, expire at the end of this month.
that's
no
correct, if they
action-
don't renew it, right?
Right.
Okay. All right, so this is what I'm gonna do. Okay. I'm going to issue a letter of reprimand for agenda item number 27, because technically you're not selling alcohol anymore and the business has been shut down. But I do want you to know that if anyone does, if you or the prior person does try to get a liquor license, there will be something on file in regards to that a letter of reprimand was issued for that item. It's not going to affect trying to come into the country in any way because it's a liquor license thing. Okay, but that if you try to get a liquor license, that will be noted on your file that you have a letter of reprimand for this. Okay, so that's going to be my motion, to issue a letter of reprimand for agenda item number 27.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded to approve a penalty of a letter of reprimand. Any nays or reservations? Seeing none, I also vote aye. The penalty of a letter of reprimand is approved.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lee.
Okay, calling agenda item number 28, liquor administrator. See that?
Parking. 2.5 hours or? Maybe 3 hours then.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Sal Patilas, Administrator, Honolulu Liquor Commission.
Thank you.
I think for this week, I'd just like to cover some things that we usually don't cover. I think I reported last week that we had some difficulties recruiting people for certain positions within the agency. And one of the things that we're trying to do is to change the position descriptions or the minimum the minimum requirements for those positions. We've been able to get approval for a couple of things the last few weeks. So for example, we were able to change the position descriptions for a liquor control auditor by a simple change of changing an "and" to an "and" or /or, because it required both an accounting and auditing background to be recruited. So we hope that will make things a little bit easier getting people in the door or having candidates on our list. Additionally, a change in hearing reporters. We worked with DHR to remove some of the requirements like the stenographic requirement as well as 120 word per minute dictation requirement. As you know, the descriptions are old and maybe no longer in line with what we do today, which is just recording. So the question now becomes the ability to listen to those recordings and be able to put those on paper. So hopefully those are some of the things that we're doing that will allow us to have more candidates and have candidates come in. Because especially when it comes to the hearing section, that'll be critical as we anticipate people moving away and not having candidates so far for the positions that are open. So that's one thing that we're trying to do, and hopefully that all works out for us, and we have a list of candidates that we can interview. I think I also mentioned last week that we were re-engaging with HGA on several fronts, I guess. And on that note, I think the first thing that we did was provide them with amended policies and policies that took into consideration some of the comments that they had made to us and amended those and forwarded those to them. And hopefully we'll be able to meet the consultation requirements, at least in regard to uniform policies. Beyond that, we are anticipating to talk about the body-worn camera policy itself next. There were questions that were provided to us by the union several weeks ago. We've drafted responses, we've looked at those. We've also made some changes to the policy because of those questions. And just internal and some internal discussions about what we really wanted to do. And so I think we're gonna shop that around internally to get more comments. But then I think that's something that we'll probably provide HGA within the next week or so. So hopefully we'll have a cascade of things. Uniforms, body-worn cameras, random inspections, geolocation data, and then DEI training, mandatory DEI training and eventually the bulk of policies for the agency. But I think for us, handling it that way allows us to move forward on critical things that are required not only by the system review, but also the supplemental movements that we have in Scarlet case. Fingers crossed that, it'll be shorter timelines, just simply because of the time that's gone on. But I think that that's something that we need to do so that we're not seen as being in violation of the collective bargaining and public employment statute. So I think, I know we were all excited about starting the process, but I think long term, this is probably a better way to go. As much as it causes us delay, I think in the long run, it's better for the agency to go through this again. And finally, we have begun the process of purging idle applications. We sent out some letters, but we're still trying to work through that, and hopefully the ball will start rolling a little bit faster as we become more familiar with what we need to do. Without adding any questions you may have about operations.
So I understand the need to change and update position description to meet current operational needs. How long will it take to make the changes?
The changes have been done. So the ones that I've mentioned have been approved. And so for us, and for us, the critical thing is to get up candidates so that we can interview them.
The HR has reviewed those changes?
In terms of the technicians, in terms of the liquor control auditor, as well as the liquor control support technicians they've been approved.
Okay, because my only concern is when you change anything from the.
It takes a long time.
Yeah, from the
Yeah.
civil service class specs and change it from the position, change the original intent of the position descriptions. That can take time and consultation as well.
We have been through that, we have gone through that process, at least with like these two that I mentioned.
Okay, good, thank you.
I have no questions. All right. Calling agenda item number 29, announcements.
Conference next week.
Conference next week, so we won't be having hearings next week. And that's it. That we're adjourned.